Welcome to the third episode of FCB360. I'm your host, Ben Sujimoto from Buffalo.com. Thanks to WBBZ-TV Studios here in Eastern Hills Mall for letting us film the show. I'll have John Grabowski and Kareem Gray of FC Buffalo in studio shortly, but first we want to take a look at last week's match against FC Sparta Michigan. While FC Buffalo dominated possession and had several scoring chances in the first half, it was FC Sparta Michigan who got on the board first during the second minute of stoppage time in the first half, with a goal from Jesus Guinez on a slight deflection. Shortly after the halftime intermission, FC Buffalo answered back with a cheeky backheel goal from Peter Marlette. FC Buffalo's go-ahead goal came off a throw-in by Brian Knapp, which hit the head of Andy Teat just inside the FC Sparta Michigan box, and Teat's header looped over the goalie. Less than 2 minutes later, FC Buffalo struck again, this time with a substitute, Jeff Thomas, who was on the end of an Osvaldo Morales cross. Thomas's goal sealed a 3-1 FC Buffalo win over FC Sparta Michigan, bringing FC Buffalo's record to 2-0 on the season. After the game, we caught up with three players and a coach. And first we spoke with Andrew Bednarski, a center midfielder, a little bit about how the breakthrough happened after halftime.
I mean, the first half we knew we were dominating. We just knew it was coming. It was unfortunate that goal came right before half, because all that work went to waste. But then right when we went into the locker room, we just knew we just had to keep working, and then we'd eventually break through. And eventually, I think it was like 2 minutes into the kickoff, we scored. We just kept going. They were rattled. The second one came after that, and then the floodgates opened, just kept going. And it just really opened up for us.
Brian Knapp's long throw-ins tonight really made a big difference, especially just getting chances, getting the ball to bounce around in the box. Talk about what value that brought.
Every time it was a long throw, it was pretty much a scoring opportunity every time. Just unbelievable throws every time. They had no idea what to do. The keeper he had no idea how to come out, and it was just a great header by Teat on the second one.
Especially as the second half progressed, you were able to use the flanks a little bit better. You got some of the outside mids a little wider, and that made your job easier in the middle. Talk about how you guys used the flanks.
I mean, they just kind of compact on us, and we pretty much spread them out. And once we had the width established, we just kept going there. They kept shifting. They were getting tired, so it just kept making it easier for us to find the flanks, find the diagonal balls were just killing them for us. Just finding those flanks just really opened up the scoring opportunities for us.
Jeff Thomas, the scorer of FC Buffalo's third goal, joined us next to talk about his impact as a substitute.
Well, yeah, I was coming off cold. Shame to see Wheeler go down like that. And yeah, I guess I just have to come in and do my best, and got rewarded with a goal, and it was a great cross by Ozzy. And I mean, what more can you ask for? Like, it was great. Yeah, rush blood to the head. So, yeah.
I've seen you play center back. Your versatility seems to be pretty valuable to the team. Can you talk about all your roles and where Murph sees you fitting in here and there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, winger's normally my position at school, I guess. But yeah, I'll go anywhere as long as I can get on the field some way. Like, I guess that's my role. I grew up with coaches telling me to play every position in every sport, so that's what I have to do. And I mean, that's what I'm gonna do, I guess. So yeah.
You're on the goal, on the ball that Ozzy sent across. Were you making the run the whole way? Did you make eye contact with him, or were you trying to fill a space?
Ozzie was beating his man on the wing, and I saw Teat swinging the back post, and I was like, if I can get to the near post as hard as I can, I might get a shot. So yeah, I was busting from the wing the whole time, and yeah, I got rewarded. It was a great cross. So yeah.
Man of the match Brian BK Knapp joined us next to talk a little bit about scoring, assisting on 2 goals, and having a hand in the third, 2 off long throw-ins.
Well, the first half we knew we had totally dominated them, and it was just a fluke goal. We wanted to really clean up counterattacks against us and just kind of finish our chances. We had composure going to the net, and then we wanted to go hard at them right from the start of the second half. We did. We got 2 goals quick, and they didn't look back from there.
How big of an advantage is having that long throw from the wing, and is that something that you've done for a long time? Has that been an advantage since you were young?
Yeah, I used to do that throughout high school, throughout my college days at UB, and it's nice. It's an advantage because it's like having a corner kick, So when the guys get used to it, we started getting it in there, luck out and get a couple assists off that. Why not?
Well, on the long throw-ins, are you aiming for someone's head? Or are you aiming for a space? Or you're just trying to put it in?
A lot of the time I try to put in the mixer, but Teat's got a big old head in there, so I always try to find him more than anybody. But he does a really good job of getting his head on it, so that's most of the time him.
Did you see Sparta starting to wear down a little bit towards the end? It seemed like you guys were able to find a little more space out wide. Is that something that you noticed?
Absolutely. I mean, they made a couple substitutions in the first half, and I was kind of shocked by that. So seeing them, they started to really wear down. Once they started to, we really pinged the ball through the midfield. Once we started doing that, we started sliding balls through, and we had a lot of opportunities. We could have been 5 or 6 really.
Finally, we caught up with FC Buffalo assistant coach Bob Roach to talk about his team's improvement in the second half and the 3-goal spurt that led to the win.
Yeah, I would say we try to focus on the positives. We thought we had the run of play for the first 45, I guess, the first 44 minutes, you could say specifically. Sticking to our game plan, we thought we had some opportunities to open them up a bit more, hitting some long diagonal balls. Late in the first half, we started pressing them a little higher up the field, and we saw some good results from that too. A goal's frustrating, a little bit of a mental mistake on our part. We don't recover, it takes a little deflection, so it could have been deflating, but the boys were positive in the locker room. We were pretty positive going in, so we just had a quick chat and got out there and got rolling.
The Sparta coach said following the match that fitness was actually a really big issue in this game for his squad, and that sort of led them to sub a decent amount in the first half, and it really showed in the second half. Did you notice fitness being a really big difference?
Yeah, I think when you have guys who are returning from school, like a lot of our guys are, we do have some guys who are out of college, but they're still fit. Early in the season, you want to be as fit as you possibly can. I think Coach Murphy runs sessions that build that fitness. And, it shows with our guys. We had a couple injuries in warm-ups. We had to adjust, throw some guys in we weren't expecting to. They stepped up and did the job. I think when we pressed, like I said before, when we pressed like we did, that forced them into a lot of mistakes, forced them to chase the game a lot more. So, they're going to drain their energy working harder, to win possession, to chase us, try to get the ball from us. And so, yeah, their fitness might have come into play. We're in pretty good shape. So, sure, you want to take advantage in those situations.
What kind of an advantage is it to have Brian Knapp's long throw? And is it like having another corner kick basically on any out-of-bounds play?
Sure. I mean, the advantage is 2 assists tonight. He was joking on the bench when he came off that he wanted to get a real assist with his foot instead of throwing it in. But, I'll take those. We'll take those goals all day off that long throw. We've seen in the first 2 matches so far there are opportunities for us to get some garbage goals, and getting the ball in the box, getting numbers around the keeper. You saw it on those 2 goals from his throw-ins, and then Jeff Thomas had a great finish from Ozzie, and BK should get credit for that with his feet, because he set up Ozzie wide, and then it was a great decision by Ozzie. So it's a great weapon to have. BK isn't the only guy we have that can do it. AJ's got a long throw. Bobby Ross had a great match tonight at left back. He can throw it. So, yeah, it's something we have to take advantage of, and we did tonight.
After a short break, we'll discuss a couple FC Buffalo personnel moves and also take a look at the Erie Admirals, the feared opponent, heading into Sunday's match.
This episode of FCB360 is brought to you by Buffalo.com, WBBZ-TV, your hometown television station, Rich's Products, and The Situation Room, making visiting teams feel right at home since 2009.
Welcome back to FCB360. We have a couple personnel moves to pass along, some of them good and some of them bad. First, James Wheeler, the FC Buffalo midfielder, was injured early in the second half of last Friday's game against FC Sparta Michigan, and unfortunately we've learned that he's torn his ACL and he'll miss the remainder of the season and also his senior campaign at Nazareth. So we wish him the best and we wish him quick healing. Kareem Gray, Casey Durkis, and Ian Mort will all miss Sunday's match against Erie, and some of those are big losses, definitely. While Richie Wilson and Anthony Johnson are both questionable with injuries, both of them missed last Friday's match. However, Albany's Anthony Rosano, a player who has pretty high expectations, enters the lineup for the first time, and Asani Samuels, a Canisius College striker, has been practicing with the team and may be cleared in time for Sunday's match. He's a 6'5" striker with goal-scoring ability, and he'll bring an added aerial presence up front for FC Buffalo. Looking across the pitch over at Erie, a lot of the familiar faces from the past return, including controversial goalkeeper Danny Mudd, strikers Shane Howard and Afram Latifi, both noted FC Buffalo killers in the past. However, there's a little bit of turnover in Erie, which is a little surprising. Their midfield has changed dramatically, and also their center back, Brian Fitzgerald, has also departed. Jared Ott and Ryan Arvin, two Canisius College players, are in Erie's lineup, and it's just like the Medaille players in the first week. There's a little bit of added familiarity to give a little twist to the match. Also, Erie's Gavin Stavey owns the best facial hair in the NPSL, which is another added storyline to this Sunday's game. After a short break, we'll speak with John Grabowski and Kareem Gray a little bit about the rivalry against Erie in the past. I'm joined by FC Buffalo's John Grabowski. It's his 4th year with FC Buffalo and his 5th year as a semi-pro in Western New York. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. We're here to talk about FC Buffalo against Erie, and it's a pretty intense rivalry. It's been heated throughout your 4 years, going on to your 5th year now. Can you talk a little bit about how that rivalry has changed over the past 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been like that. I think from the close proximity of the cities, you know, and we've both had a lot of the same players throughout the last couple of years. So each game you play, you get to know the other guys a little bit more. You know, they want to beat us, we want to beat them. And then the last couple of years, it's been getting pretty intense. You know, the players and I think the fans have been getting a little bit involved too. But you know, it's all good fun, and it's a cool feeling and cool rivalry, I think.
How do you explain the atmosphere of an FC Buffalo against Erie match? Is there a little bit more intensity involved, just maybe due to the familiarity or due to just sort of knowing some of the players on the other team?
Yeah, I'd say so. You can feel it right from just warm-ups. You know, if we have our fans there, or they have a couple fans there, you can hear them yelling right from the get-go, hear guys with the drums, and just the intensity right from the whistle, you can feel it. You know, there's always a big tackle right away, and just it goes throughout the whole game. So it makes for an exciting game, though.
There haven't been a lot of positive moments for FC Buffalo during the history of the matchups with Erie. However, there have been more. You drew last year in Erie, which was maybe the best result of the season other than the win over Binghamton. Well, if you had to pick one favorite moment from any of the FC Buffalo against Erie matches over the past 5 years, what would you choose?
Yeah, I would say that would be it. You know, the previous game we played them was at home, and we had 2 early red cards, and you know, we just battled throughout the rest of the game, and I thought we played with them pretty well with, you know, 2 men down. And then just to go back to Erie and battle with them again and earn the draw, it just showed a lot of character on our part, and, you know, it meant a lot to us to be able to do that after losing with 9 men when we thought we played really well and could have had a better result at home.
Thanks for joining us on FCB360, John.
Yeah.
After the break, we will talk with Kareem Gray, FC Buffalo goalkeeper, a little bit about his memories of Erie from last year, and we'll go forward from there.
Come on out to All High Stadium this Friday night at 7:30 as your hometown team, FC Buffalo, kicks off the 2013 soccer season against Zanesville Athletic FC. $5 at the gate. Bring your friends and family. FC Buffalo versus Zanesville Athletic FC, Friday, May 10th at 7:30. For more info, visit fcbuffalo.org.
Welcome back to FCB360. I'm joined by charismatic goalie Kareem Gray of FC Buffalo. Welcome, Kareem.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Your first match as an FC Buffalo Blitzer came last year on the road in Erie. Kind of a rude debut to the FC Buffalo and Erie rivalry. Can you talk a little bit about what you'd heard about before of the rivalry between Erie and FC Buffalo?
Oh, yeah. You know, going to my first match, you know, with the big rivalry of Erie, you know, I've heard a lot, you know, coming into training before that game. You know, I've heard of the intensity of the game, you know, the big rivalry that we do have with them, you know, was really, you know, it was a big one. And I knew mentally and physically I had to prepare because it was my first game, you know, butterflies, I'm anxious, I'm nervous. But I heard a lot, you know, all the boys, you know, they welcomed me well into the team, and you know, for my first game, after hearing all that, you know, how intense it was going to be, you know, I think I did pretty well on that first game.
It was a 1-1 draw, and one of the biggest takeaways from the game was how well you played in goal.
Right.
And you faced a lot of shots, and you turned a lot of those shots away. When you look back at that match, what do you remember?
Oh man, I just remember quality soccer. You know, it was a really good soccer game for 90 minutes. Like, there was no part of the game that stopped. It was just keep going and going. And yeah, I just remember my performance. I remember my team's performance. You know, we did really well. We worked really hard just to come away with that victory at Erie too. You know, with, as I say, you mentioned before, with the atmosphere there, it's hard. So, you know, you got to dig deep, and I think that's what the team did. And it was an overall team performance, but you know, I had to do my part, and I did it.
Following the match on social media last year, there was just talks about several spectacular saves. If you had to put together one moment in your mind, can you describe maybe one of those saves?
Oh man, as I say, there's a lot. Yeah, I think I remember one. It was a free kick. It was late in the game, and it was quality, and I just tipped it over. I dove to my right and I tipped it over, and I remember my fingers hurting after the game because I jammed it. It was a really good save. I think that was one of my memorable ones.
Thanks, Kareem. I appreciate you joining us on FCB360.
Yeah, no problem.
After the break, we will have a closing message, and then we'll talk a little bit about Erie's game.
This episode of FCB360 is brought to you by Buffalo.com, WBBZ-TV, your hometown television station, Rich's Products, and The Situation Room, making visiting teams feel right at home since 2009.
Welcome back. Thanks again to John Grabowski and Kareem Gray of the FC Buffalo Blitzers for joining us on tonight's show ahead of their match on Sunday against Erie. The game is at 3 p.m. at Cathedral Prep Event Center Field. The cost is $6 to attend. It's about a 90-minute drive down the 90 West. So if you want to tag along and join the Situation Room and supporting FC Buffalo, feel free to do so. Thanks again for joining us on FCB 360, and we'll see you next week. Welcome back. Thanks again for joining us. Oh, 6 words in.